Hello everybody, welcome to Minnesota Sports HQ. I'm Ben, and today we had a pretty big Saturday in Minnesota sports. We had the Minnesota Wild, we had the Timberwolves, we had the Golden Gophers basketball team, and we had a lot of college hockey. So it was pretty busy today. I watched most of these games, and yeah, let's talk about it. Sorry I haven't posted in a while, but can't lie, I was pretty busy this week with calculus, and in college you got to do what you got to do to pass. So right in with the video though. We're gonna start off with the Wild and the Stars. Very decisive battle in the wild card race, but this was the second game of a back-to-back. Obviously, we played a very physical game against the Golden Knights last night that we won, and we come in tonight playing the Stars. We get outshot, and yeah, we held our own in the first period, but they score 8 minutes into the period through Matthias Janmark, and yeah, it's quite over. So yeah, Stephen Johns scored 30 seconds later to make it 2-0 Dallas, and then 12 minutes in, Jamie Benn scored. And Tyler Seguin scored 14 minutes into the second period, and that was all for the second period. Now, Minnesota got one back 5 minutes into the third period through Jason Zucker. It was a nice wrist shot. Beat the goalkeeper high on the glove side, and, as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, we got a chance, but, we need 3 goals in 15 minutes. We had to change our goalie. Dubnyk came in after it was 4-0. But, nevertheless, classic Minnesota. Dallas scores 3 minutes later, 8 minutes into the third, to make it 5-1. That was Alexander Radulov. And damn, we finished it off with 4 minutes left to make it 6-1. And that's pretty disappointing, but, Minnesota went 0 for 2 on their power play. The Stars went 2 for 2 on theirs, and that special team game is really what wins it for you in the playoffs. So, not looking forward to this playoff battle if we happen to meet, but we still have a chance in the wild card race. We're in the wild card spot right now, but this is very, very could change very quickly. If we have a really bad patch. We are 6-2-2 in our last 10, which is pretty good. But right now, we own that last wild card spot. We have 61 points after 52 games. We're 3 points behind Dallas, but we have a game in hand. We are 1 point ahead of Colorado, but they have a game in hand on us. And we're 1 point up on Anaheim, but we have a game in hand on them. And then we have a 2-point lead over Los Angeles, and they have a 1 game in hand. So 2 teams could overtake us their next game. But, looking at the division now, we're in 5th. We're ahead of Colorado for now, but we are chasing the Dallas Stars and the St. Louis Blues. We're not that far behind. The Blues are 6 points up on us, but we have 2 games in hand. And, but this is going to be a really exciting wild card race, and I'm excited to watch the Wild for the rest of the season. Now on to the Timberwolves. They played the New Orleans Pelicans tonight. We started off in an absolute blitz. We were winning like 26-8 at one point, but, after that it was pretty even, and we end up winning 118-107. And that brings us to 34-22, and that's absolutely brilliant. Looking at the box score, starting off with Minnesota, Andrew Wiggins had a decent game with 15 points. Taj had 12 points and 9 rebounds. Taj Gibson, sorry. Karl Anthony Towns had 22 points, 16 rebounds. What a boss. Jimmy Butler had 30 with 8 rebounds. And we're still not getting much production from our starting point guard, Jeff Teague. He got 5 points.
You have a tissue.
But Tyus off the bench did really well. He had 15 points, which is really good. Coming off the bench. He played 20 minutes, so, that's pretty decent. Gorgie Deng had 6 points. Emmanuel Bjelica had 5. Jamal Crawford had 8. A little under as usual, but, he had a nice layup tonight that I saw, weaving through traffic, like it's the cities. But now let's look at the New Orleans Pelicans. Obviously, Anthony Davis went off. He had 38 points and 9 rebounds. And, the only other person who had more than 10 points was Nikola Mirotic, who they just acquired from the Bulls in a pretty big trade. They traded 3 players for him, and he scored 18 tonight with 12 rebounds, so that was pretty good for 35 minutes. I'm really excited to see him play for the Pelicans. They have a chance at the playoffs still, but and they're in a pretty tight bunch for that 7 or 8 spot. And looking at the standings now, we're 34-22. We're half a game behind the San Antonio Spurs. The Houston Rockets have really pulled up a big gap in front of us. We're 6.5 games behind them. Golden State lost today, so now we're 8.5 games behind the number 1 seed. And thankfully, Oklahoma City finally lost a game, so we are 2.5 games up on them. And now looking further below, we are 3 games ahead of Portland, and now we're 4 games ahead of New Orleans, and we are 4.5 up on Denver. So we're looking pretty good as far as the standings go. We're 22-6 at home. That is absolutely great. But trouble's on the road. We're 12-16. So much like the Wild, who are very good at home, I believe they're 18-4-4 at home, which is absolutely ridiculous. So what is up with us being really good at home? I just don't get it. So good game from the Wolves today, and now let's look at some college basketball. The University of Minnesota Golden Gophers played today. They played the number 24 ranked Michigan. And, we had the lead at halftime, 34-32. But then, down the stretch, Michigan was quite strong. And, they made a 3 right with, 5 seconds left to be up by 2. And, Minnesota grabbed a layup right at the end to force overtime, which, forcing overtime against Michigan, I was pretty happy about. Minnesota's really injury-struck right now, and obviously Reggie Lynch being out due to suspension, just kind of all boiling down to we had to use our bench. Last year we were so good, we didn't have to use our bench, and clearly we see why we were so good last year. But, Michigan got an end one with about 4 seconds left to take the lead, 76-73, and we missed a buzzer beater shot to tie it, and we lost 76-73 to a ranked team in Michigan. Now, a look at the box score. Isaiah Washington went absolutely off today. He had 26 points in one of his first starts, I'd say. He had 6 rebounds as well. Nate Mason had 22 points and 5 rebounds. That's great from him. But, we had to play a lot of players. We had to play, Jameer Harris for 13 minutes, Michael Hurt for 26 minutes. We're not gonna be very good when we have to do that. And really the only other one of note was Jordan Murphy, who had 12 points, 6 rebounds, and we really had to lean on our bench. Now, Michigan had 5 players over 10 points, which really stinks. I mean, they're just pretty spread out, have a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. And now I'll look at the Big Ten standings. We're falling. I mean, we're 3-9 in Big Ten play. We've lost 5 in a row. Yeah, that's pretty rough. And we're 10-4 at home and 2-6 on the road. That is, wow. Why are we so good at home and bad on the road? I don't understand this. That's just crazy. But I mean, I don't think we're going to make the tournament this year. I mean, we might not even make the NIT at this point. But I mean, the Big Ten isn't very strong this year. I thought this was our year. Wisconsin's really bad. I thought we'd have a chance to finally beat them, and yeah, we get absolutely shredded, which really stinks. I mean, I thought this was our year, just like the Vikings. I hope I'm not the only one who's not watching the game tomorrow because I thought it should have been ours. But I probably am. I'm probably just being a little salty, and I own up to that. But I'll look at college hockey now. We had some pretty good games today. Mankato beat Alaska Anchorage 4-3. Minnesota Duluth lost to Denver, who's I think number 2 right now. They lost 4-3, tied 3-3 after the second period. So a little unlucky to not win that. Bemidji State lost to Lake Superior State 2-0. A nice little blank there. And St. Cloud State beat Omaha for the sweep 6-2. So that was a nice game. So, yeah, I mean, pretty big weekend for Minnesota sports. I mean, obviously the Super Bowl's tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not going to watch it, that's for sure. Yeah, so that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed me being back. I'm going to try and post a lot more. I probably won't post tomorrow just because, I mean, I have to work again, and, I mean, let's be honest, the only thing I would talk about is the Super Bowl, and I'm not watching that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there will be enough Super Bowl reviews on YouTube for you to look at, and, we're all about original content here on Minnesota Sports HQ. So that'll do it from me. I hope you all have a wonderful day tomorrow. And